Hey guys, Mongo here. Quick update on Bitcoin. So overall, we had a nice drop. Still bullish. More so on the 4 hour. You got decreasing price action with increasing momentum. Money flows trying to come back in. So we have a bull div currently. That doesn't mean I don't expect us to sweep these lows and still move higher. So that'll still put in a great. You got a long way to come down from momentum to cancel out the midterm bull div. So this is what I'm watching. Some key levels we're bouncing from currently. The weekly EQ we've bounced from. We're right under the monthly open. There's a previous monthly low in here, which is coming in at 59,135. It's going to correspond with some other fib levels. So currently, I think we're also bouncing from the 618 locally. No, not quite. We're bouncing at the 0.5 fib. We did come down and wick yesterday just above the 618s. We front ran it. I caught myself and some other traders off guard. But we also did hit an order block over here. That's why we stopped. If I zoom out or zoom into like the 1 hour, you'll see there's a perfect order block we filled, and then it ran back up. So we've lost the weekly open. We're bouncing at the previously weekly open. On the other chart, I think it's at like 484. So that'll be down here somewhere. That is the New York close yesterday. So New York, that's something to pay attention to. A lot of times, I like to retest that level, and we've already done that today. So I'm looking at the 4 hour here. I like it. We got some fib levels to touch. They got the yearly VWAP down here at the 886 on this fib pull, so that would be another good target, coming in at 57,700. Currently, if I zoom out some, we can come down as low as roughly 59.5 and still have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. If we come down and lower and we tag the it's debatable at that point. It's not really an inverse head and shoulders. You come down, bounce at the yearly VWAP. We're coming in at 57,600 basically, or 500. Then you're going to have a double bottom pattern, which is still bullish. So as long as we hold above 56, this wick down here, there's nothing else below us. So there's a long way to go. I'll have to pull some order blocks, but I'm not really going to pay attention. I'm playing at the current range. This is the range, right? So we want to make sure we pay attention to only this area because this is all we have control over right now. This is where price is locked in. You want to find weaknesses and strengths within the range and then kind of go from there. Currently, if you just do a pull from up here down to here, it's going to give you our range. So we'd have touched exactly the value area low or earlier. Yes, well, that was yesterday. Also, if you would have pulled that fib, I'm also using Binance today because it's a cleaner chart. I don't have as much crap on here as I do in the other charts. So if we kind of we kind of just move around this area. I like to see it, but also if I pull up let me see if I can paste it here. Yeah. So if we're kind of in this downtrend here, kind of tippy toppy. Keep in mind, this is on short time frames. This isn't on the 4 hour. If I go into let's do the 24 minute, kind of see it better. Now let's get out of that. Kind of get an idea, right? So we'll pull this here. I'll move this up here. I'll shrink this down a little bit. You can kind of see, right? So now we had our drop in, right? It came down, dropped in. You had your supply, and then you had your automatic retest, and then you had another ST, right, into phase B. So there's another drop. This can or cannot be lower than the other. It all depends. It could be higher. So this bounce we have here is the top of phase B. And then this downtrend I think we're having right now, which hypothetically should lead into a spring. Whether you want to call that we had the spring, I don't think so. I think this was just the regular test here of support lines in phase B. I'd like to see a quick sweep. locally. So that'd be nice. On the 24-minute, we can do that, but I'll also zoom in, do it this way as well on the 5-minute, and just get even more granular. Because remember, you can have multiple Wyckoffs within different time frames, especially smaller ones. So if I zoom in a little bit here on the 5-minute, get really granular. So we had a huge dump yesterday, right? Unemployment data was horrible. No one wants to talk about that. It's the elephant in the room, right? So let's pull this down. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So this is more or less what I'm watching locally. We're within the range of bouncing, so we'll have to wait and see. We're below the monthly VWAP, right? But this is what I'm watching right now today. I don't like weekends. The volatility is really all over the place. You got whales pushing price around. Look at this huge push we're getting right now above 800. Got back, had bounced at the EQ and then bounced at the weekly or monthly open. Now we're moving higher. So what I was looking for was this here locally. Wow, we're pushing hard. I think we're just trying to squeeze some shorts. Anyways, you're in this downtrend. I was looking for a spring, so I wanted to see something lower than this point here, but we had pretty much a double bottom. Didn't even pay attention to that while I was looking at it. Actually, I did see that when I first woke up this morning. I just didn't know the levels, so I didn't pull a trade. So that's what I'm watching for. You're going to look for a back test. So if this was the spring, and let's say this is a funky accumulation pattern, schematic 1, this isn't going to go straight up forever, as you know. Everything's a zigzag. So it's going to come up, it's going to come back down, it's going to retest some other key levels like the daily open on the daily VWAP. It could come back, fake people out, come back down, touch the weekly open, come back up. This is what it would look like, right? And then you'd have this huge blow off and then zigzaggy. And then keep in mind, this could also lead right into a distribution again. So this could come back down. So what I'm saying is I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in play. I like the area we're in. We're in a discounted area to favor longs. So we're range bound. You have a value area. I'll show you here in a second. Delete some of the stuff. You have a value area higher at top. We're testing here shortly. So pull a fib here for this guy. Excuse me. Your range tool. Yep. So you're just range bound. You're ping ponging within the range. I'm looking for more of a Wyckoff schematic accumulation. I think based on what you're seeing here with some of these larger whales, they're just trading, but also sometimes they're putting long orders in here, I think, at the bottom. So I will say on the 15-minute, we look like crap. Although we just deleted that here on the 15-minute with a green dot. We had a red dot. It's been erased. But, until we get above 900, which is the value area high at the moment, I'd like to see a back test of that up and about, hold that, and then move higher. Really need to get above this monthly VWAP coming in at 61,200-ish. But yeah, I'm still expecting lower. You get anything around this this level we just had earlier, anything between 600 and 400, even lower, is kind of where I'm looking at for longs. You want to have some sell side liquidity grabbed again. You want to take out some wicks, and technically speaking, you have pretty much even lows here, which is what you don't want to see. And I bet you if I flopped around from different exchanges, you've got liquidity hiding under here. So this is something we're going to grab, right? So you got a double bottom. Usually you want to take those out, then run. So that's it, guys. That's about all I'm watching at the moment. In terms of other things that's going on in the market, it doesn't matter until we have Bitcoin cementing a bottom/reversal pattern. This is why I watch lower time frames. That's where the reversals start. You kind of get an idea on the 15, 24 minute, and then look for entries on the 5 and 1 minute based on key levels that I have here. Also, let me pull up exo charts for you real quick. If it's not going to be glitchy on you. The weekly value area low is coming in at 60,503. I was watching that. So, it looks like the whales were just squeezing a lot of shorts. You just squeezed out a 0.8 Bitcoin short. Back testing the daily VWAP at the moment, which would be bullish to hold it because we've been under it the entire time. But yeah, so if you're going to hold this daily VWAP here coming in at 800, we're doing really well. So let's zoom in for you for one last look before I get off this. Look at that, nearly a perfect bounce. Usually you'll fill these fair value gaps, especially on weekends, because there's literally 3 people in control of the market. Must be nice to have $100 million to play with, because literally these guys are just throwing the price around like nothing. Double top. On weekends like this, I would have shorted this too, but just do low leverage, because you don't know. These guys are just hunting for stop losses. So I won't be doing my average 100x on stuff like this. I'll do 20 to 30x and just let it ride, because that way you can put a 3% stop loss way up here. You don't have to worry about. You can cover your stop. You can put it above the wick, which is usually where they are. So you don't have to worry about price action. So, this itself is an inverted head and shoulders, which I was watching, an inverse. So this would have a breakout target up here. I think at the monthly VWAP, actually. I looked at it earlier in my other charts. So, yeah, look for the key levels I just mentioned. And react to the chart. Forget the news. We're looking for support to hold. We're looking for more confluence. And we wanted the dust to settle. Unless you had levels already set, you're going to get destroyed and wrecked. So I watched a $1.6 million long get liquidated yesterday in this general area. So even the big boys get messed up. So as they say, don't get wrecked. Let the dust settle, form a range, and then figure out what direction we're going, up or down, or just trade the range. You could just short the top, long the bottom, and do scalps. Like this is what the whales are doing right now, right? You came down, you went back up, you came back down, you went back up, we're back down. We're putting in a higher low, which is not good, so I'm expecting to come back down again. So if we could compress, we're either going to come down again, which I prefer. I prefer to come down towards 59, and that'll give us the juice to go back up. So pay attention. Saturday afternoons, a lot of times Asia likes to push stuff around. So that's what I'm watching for. Nothing I say is financial advice. Best of luck. You want to find me? Hit with a Crypto Blackwall on Twitter and the Blockguard Discord. Thanks.